Rory McIlroy slams live stars over betrayal as Mickelson hails new force in game. Plus, Phil Mickelson among live golfers reacting to Rory McIlroy's comments on the PGA Tour Ryder Cup ahead of the finale in Miami. After world number one Rory McIlroy expressed concern over an irreparable split, Phil Mickelson asserted that the breakaway, highly controversial Saudi-backed live golf series is a power in the game that is not going away. McIlroy criticized Mickelson, and recently Mickelson has retaliated. What did they say? What's going on with this huge divide within the professional golf community? Let's take a look. First up, Rory McIlroy has slammed fellow pro golfer Phil Mickelson for his apparent betrayal. Rory McIlroy, the number one player in the world, warned that the gap between the PGA Tour and live golf may become irreparable. Still, Phil Mickelson, a six-time major champion and one of the top players on the Saudi-sponsored circuit, argued that the new rivalry is now a power in the game. The live series finishes this weekend at Doral, close to Miami, with a team championship that will feature eye-watering multi-millions in prize money. But the tension the breakaway has created has McIlroy concerned for the outcome of the professional golfing world. In an interview with the popular media outlet The Guardian, McIlroy stated that this we versus them stuff has already gotten completely out of control. He explained that it will only get worse if the two parties keep going in opposite directions by doubling down. He claimed that the sport would be essentially shattered. Following this, at LIV's event press conference, Mickelson said he didn't want to answer McIlroy's remarks directly because it would take attention away from the competition at the Blue Monster course. But he did say the breakaway was now a part of the golf landscape. As he put it, "If I'm just looking at live golf, and where we are today to where we were 6-7 months ago, and people are saying this is dead in the water, and we're past that. And here we are today, a force in the game that's not going away," he said. The live series caliber of talent, according to Mickelson, is moving professional golf worldwide and creating a lot of excitement in various communities around the world. Now, Mickelson made this statement while seated on a platform alongside British Open champion Cameron Smith, former Masters champion Bubba Watson, along with English Ryder Cup favorite Ian Poulter. But Poulter, one of those teammates, took issue with the language McIlroy used. "A betrayal? We can still qualify for the team as far as I'm aware. Unless we've been told we can't qualify, then I'm still ready to play as much as possible and try to make that team," he said. As you can see, the golf world is completely and utterly divided. Half sit with the PGA and half fully back with the relatively new, highly controversial live golf tour. What side do you sit with? Or do you think they can coexist? As a result of McIlroy's comments, Mickelson has responded. What did he say? Check it out. At the Live Golf Team Championship at Trump National Doral in Miami, Mickelson said he didn't want to detract from what's occurring this week, but a very recent Rory McIlroy interview was just too juicy to pass up. Mickelson praised McIlroy for saying that the we versus them attitude between live golf and the PGA and DP World circuits had gotten out of hand during a press conference during the season finale of the fledgling circuit. "You know, I think a lot of Rory. I really have the utmost respect for him, and I look at what he's done in the game and how he's played this year and his win last week and number one in the world now, and I have a ton of respect for him," said Mickelson. He went on to explain that following this event, they will have 3 months off to speak about things like that and other things. But this week, something is happening that he doesn't want to divert attention from, and he explains that there has never been a team tournament like this in professional golf. It should also be noted that McIlroy disagreed with Mickelson's recent assertion that live golf is moving up while the PGA Tour is trending down, labeling that assertion as propaganda. The Greg Norman-led enterprise is backed financially by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which has spared no expense. It is challenging to establish a new golf series, but Live has succeeded in luring some of the sport's top names, including Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, and Cameron Smith. But when you have hundreds of millions of dollars to spend, the issues with starting a business are less difficult to deal with. Sports Illustrated reports that the first year's expenses for live golf exceeded $784 million. Another $1 billion has been promised for the following year, when the league expands to 14 events. Concerning the amount of interest worldwide, Live has hosted 7 events so far, including 4 in the US, 1 in England, 1 in Saudi Arabia, and 1 in Thailand. Now, Graham McDowell has a real chance to captain the Europeans in 2027, and Sergio Garcia Ian Poulter, and Lee Westwood's legacies are largely centered on the biennial match against the Americans, according to McIlroy, who also stated that he felt betrayed by LIV players putting their Ryder Cup futures in jeopardy. In other news, Adrian Otegi, who recently achieved success on the DP World Tour, will compete in the LIV Golf Championship in Miami. For this week's season-ending team championship in Miami, Adrian Otegi, who just made history by becoming the first LIV Golf player to win a DP World Tour event, has been called up to Joaquin Niemann's Torque GC team. Otegi, who won the Andalusia Masters in a rout 2 weeks ago to win his 4th DP World Tour title, will now make his 4th appearance in a LIV Golf event on Friday at Trump National Doral. Hidetu Tanahara of Japan will now serve as the first alternate in Niemann's Torque GC team in place of the Spaniard. The four-man team also includes Jediah Morgan and Scott Vincent. This week's LIV Golf Championship features 12 teams competing for a whopping $15 million in prize money, with $16 million going to the victorious team. Due to the guaranteed $1 million payout for the bottom 4 teams in the competition, Otegi will make at least $250,000 this week. A UK court has blocked the DP World Tour's attempt to bar its players who competed in LIV Golf tournaments this season from rejoining the circuit, and the court will make a final decision in the case in February 2022. Martin Kamer, Lee Westwood, Ian Poulter, Taylor Gooch, Patrick Reed, and Sergio Garcia, who was penalized for leaving the BMW PGA Championship, are some of LIV Golf players who have lately continued to compete in DP World Tour events. It is also known that Garcia, a 16-time DP World Tour champion, has participated in his final competition on the European Tour schedule. This week, Garcia will also compete for team honors with the Fireballs GC squad, including Abraham Ancer, Carlos Ortiz, and Eugenio Cicada. Expanding on Ian Poulter news, he has responded to McIlroy's recent comments. What did he say? Let's take a look. Insisting that his Ryder Cup days are far from gone, Ian Poulter has argued claims that he has abandoned the biennial competition between Europe and the US by joining the highly controversial LIV Golf League. Poulter, a well-known member of the European squad, is leading a legal action against the DP World Tour to allow LIV golfers to compete on that tour. Whatever happens there, it's assumed that Poulter, Sergio Garcia, Lee Westwood, and other LIV rebels won't ever play in another Ryder Cup. Rory McIlroy is adamant that LIV should be prohibited at the Ryder Cup. Speaking in Miami before the final LIV event of 2022, Poulter has different thoughts. "As far as I'm aware, we can still make the team," Poulter remarked. Poulter continued, explaining that his duty to the Ryder Cup goes before him. He then stated that he has always wanted to compete in Ryder Cups, and that he has no idea where the comment came from. Henrik Stenson, who led Europe in the Ryder Cup for a brief period, has categorically rejected using the position as a negotiating chip to join LIV. When Phil Mickelson said LIV was trending higher, in contrast to the PGA Tour's downward slide, Rory McIlroy was not happy. Since joining LIV, Mickelson has never appeared more assured. However, he was not inclined to spar publicly with the Northern Irishman. And finally, the LIV is about to shake up the next tournament. Here's why. For the first $78 million tournament of 2022 in Miami, Greg Norman's LIV Golf has taken another major move to shake up the sport. It all began with the huge prize offers and the hundreds of millions of dollars to join. When the 48 players in the 12-team competition start their rounds on Friday at the Trump National Doral Golf Club, they said it will be permitted to use electronic rangefinders while in play. LIV CEO Greg Norman said his Saudi-sponsored tour has revived the sport in record time, as he posted on social media that distance measuring devices are permitted during the tournament for gathering distance information. But what is surprising is that the new rule was put in place shortly after the U.S. professional Blake Abercrombie was kicked out of the DP World Tour qualifying school after just one hole for using a rangefinder. To speed up play, the PGA Championship took a risky step in 2021 by allowing rangefinders, which are not permitted at any PGA Tour events. This restriction was maintained in 2022. Rangefinders are permitted on the course during practice rounds, but not during PGA Tour competition rounds. And there you have it, everything you need to know about Rory McIlroy and what he had to say about Phil Mickelson, along with Mickelson's response. Now, make sure to let us know your thoughts down below, and as always, thanks for watching.